Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night the 7th of November 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps. There we go, and welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It is Thursday, November 7th, and you're listening to the big call. Thanks everybody for tuning in again, and we've got to have a great call tonight. We've got some good information that no Sue does not know, and so I hope to share that in some depth in my segment tonight, but we're gonna have a nice call tonight. So let's welcome everybody to come in the call tonight. Thank you guys so much. And let's go ahead and get the call started like we do every call and pray to call in. There was some chatter that was put out, and it was really a text or a post that was made that made some allusion to the fact that, if you're a ZIM holder with projects or without projects, you're going to be capped on how much your ZIM is worth and how much you get. That's a total why it's not true. I told you guys forever, so I don't think any of you believed it, but I've told you that what we're going to get is on par with the US dollar. And you know what on par means? It means the same as, so we're going to get that for the ZIM, and don't be dissuaded by everything you read, thinking that it's the truth, or because it's in print, it's got to be true, not at all. This was a major mistake that was put out, and it's not something that is true. And you know, people that do that should know better, and to put that out like they really should before you print something. Or put something out like that, you have to do your best and vet it and see if it's true, and that was so you guys know what I'm talking about, great. And if it's not, then it's over your head. Forget, it doesn't matter. I would say the good news is that we were getting information, as you know, as early as last Tuesday and yesterday Wednesday that we are in a position to receive. But I have to remind you of something. You know, Monday is Veterans Day. And we heard that from Jeannie, and Veterans Day is a bank holiday. Now, even though redemption centers can be open on a bank holiday, they never have before, and so we are not looking at Veterans Day as something to be a start for us. We are also looking at the possibility of everything being released to all parties on hostess in Tier 4B, those in Tier 4A and the Admirals groups, also referring to the R&R, Retribution and Reconciliation. All of that, the Retribution Reconciliation amounts, should be occurring because that affects everybody, not just currency holders. If we're in currencies, but we also get the R&R, that's just a bonus for us. We don't really necessarily need it. We won't turn it down, though it's going to be substantial for a lot of us, so that is designed to happen all together. And the money started being released for this last night at about 6:45 in the evening, with the theory that we would have a completion of at least notifications by 6:45 tomorrow night. Now since that time, there have been a few mid-course corrections that make it seem as if most everything that I just talked about is going to happen over the weekend, this coming weekend, which is a 3-day weekend. Now what we're being told is we can get notifications over the weekend, but the exchanges that we make for our currencies and a ZIM that we redeem at the redemption centers, along with our currencies, would start on Tuesday, and so Tuesday would be the 12th of November, so still a few days away. Alright. So what we're trying to say here is things are happening behind the scenes to release this and get this out to us in the way of our emails to the bondholders. All of that is a very positive thing that's going to happen. Our bank contacts are seeing rates on the bank screens, front screens for 17 currencies today, and they're locked in, they're solid. Now I don't know where the redemption center screens are right now, but they're probably not too far off. It tendencies for bank screens to be lit up and solid one day, and then redemption center screens the next. And it kind of been going back and forth like that. But I know that Sunday, which is the first banking day for Iraq and most of the Middle East, will produce a new rate of the Iraqi dinar, again, another new rate which would show up Sunday in Iraq. And they have already been trading and buying and selling using the Iraqi dinar in the Middle East for about a week and a half so far. So that's kind of neat to think of. There was a time when we talked about regional currencies around the globe, and the Iraqi dinar was said to be one that would be used to do business at the default currency in the Middle East. And it could very well still be that way, even though each country has their own currency. You know, they may say, well, we're going to use the Iraqi dinar in 7 or 8 different countries in the Middle East. So we'll see how that comes out. I'm not worried about that. But it is cool that Iraq is going to come with a new rate, and this would be after the Forex comes back up. Remember, tomorrow around 5 o'clock it closes for the weekend for 48 hours, and then it comes back up. It comes back up Sunday at about 5 o'clock, Eastern Time. And it reopens for the week. The Forex does. The other thing we heard today, which was interesting, was that something was to start shortly after 7 p.m. tonight. We got this from a very good source, and we figured out finally, we did get a little more information on this with saying that security in 3 different areas for us, for the country, would be initiated tonight at 7 o'clock. This would be for areas. Let's see, how did it go? Anyway, it was 3 different areas of security concern that would be actually put into effect. So it should all those 3 areas should be in effect by sometime Saturday. So that's moving forward, and I think we're really, I would have preferred in getting it before next Monday or Tuesday. But it looks like we're going to be notified about this over the weekend, and set our appointments for some time, starting Tuesday the 12th of November. Now the Retribution and Reconciliation Allowance, I call it a couple different things. That is theoretically okay. Now let's say it this way. We have bank accounts in the QFS and our accounts have been mirrored, okay, to where telling they can see it, but we can't, like walk seeing through a one-way mirror. But I think in this case, that mirroring is supposed to come off, and if the R&R of monies for us is already assigned to our bank accounts for direct deposit, they may take the looking glass away sometime over this weekend, where we can actually see those accounts. Now that's an interesting take. We may have it in our quantum financial accounts that we see when we go in for our exchanges, but it could be. And I'm hoping this is the case, that it's already being made as a direct deposit into our, if you're on Social Security, the bank account that you receive your Social Security in or into. And if you're not on Social Security, it would come to your bank account as a direct deposit. Either way, direct deposit either to your Social Security bank account or to, if you're not on Social Security, to your regular bank account that you have, and that's going to really be great for everybody. Because even if you're young, you would get something, maybe not all of it, but you would get some of that money on a monthly basis. If you're older, 62 or older, I believe you would get it as a lump sum into your bank account. We'll see whether it's a lump sum, and we actually can identify and see that unmirrored account in our bank accounts. Or if not, if we have to wait and we don't see it, they know who the ZIM holders are unless they're not or enlisted and gifted them. It may be something that we don't see until we give our quantum account what it needs to activate, which is our biometric finger or thumbprint, which is our new username and password, our new 5-digit, a personal identification number code, all of these things. And a brand new email address, and we will using password for our email as well. All those things will be created when you're in. If you can help the thing along and sort of start thinking of what you might want to use as username and password. I can't tell you how many characters it's going to require, though, you know how that is. You got to at least a minimum of 8, probably at least 8. And maybe you want to practice that, or get some ideas in mind what you might use, so that you're not sitting there for questions to try to come up with a username or password. Let's get this thing up. Come on, let's go, and that's what it could be like. It'll be fun, that'll be good, and I'm excited about that as well. So what I'm saying is, supposedly, this weekend should reveal something to us in the way of our emails from Wells Fargo servers with the toll-free number included. And also something about the R&R. And it could be that we get some indication of Nasara and Gesera over the coming weekend. Now I can't tell you when we're going to get the emergency broadcast system kicking in. You don't have to worry about 10 days of darkness. That was for the deep state. Did you notice how there weren't any skirmishes or any uprisings or anything after the election? No, it never happened, and it wasn't going to. They were totally ready. They were ready for anything. And that's when the communication was turned off for emails, and what I'm trying to say for cell service and internet service and all that in some of those deep state areas of the country. So, that was kind of a non-event, which was great. I'm glad it was a non-event, and now we can move on together, unified in purpose. We're going to see a lot of positive things. The fuel prices go down. We're going to see inflation drop. We're going to see just wars stop, and that the whole thing in the Ukraine, I think that will be completely eradicated in weeks, if not days. Also, it may be so quick we just blink. And it has happened. Same thing. He wants peace in the Middle East like we had. Alright, moving on. So we have what I wanted to bring out, and so let's pray the call out, and we'll look forward to a great weekend. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.